Hey everyone, it's Shobit. Hope that you're all doing well and getting ready for Memorial Day weekend for those of us in the US. I know a lot of people also have Friday off and others day off, so it should be a pretty exciting time for all of you. It is for me as well. Now there is, today as I've been talking to a lot of people, we recently did. That you're all doing well and getting ready. We recently did the confidence challenge, and the participation was completely off the charts. If you missed that, you can actually watch all the videos, get access to all the workbooks if you sign up for my monthly program, my monthly product thinking program, which I just launched last week. So if you haven't seen that, I'll post a link down here and you can get access to the confidence challenge recordings as well. But one of the questions, or a few questions came up, which were all around, hey, Shobit, tell me, how do you manage to stay ahead in your career, to keep excelling? And there were a bunch of questions around that. And as I started thinking about it, I realized that a lot of product managers lose sight of the kinds of things they need to focus on, the kinds of questions they need to keep asking themselves for them to be able to get ahead in their career and not get completely bogged down in the day-to-day responsibilities of a product manager. So I'm going to walk you through five. No, I'm going to walk you through six questions that if you just started asking them on a regular basis, and maybe even had a coach who could help you think through these questions, you can really accelerate your career. I'm talking about move through promotions a year faster, get director and VP level roles, but only if you're willing to have the courage to ask these questions. So I'm going to ask you these, but I'm just going to turn on the light so the lighting's better here. By the way, it's a wonderful day outside here. It's going to be 80 degrees today. First day that's going to be that good. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, question number one. Let's go. This question, it's obvious, but anytime I ask a PM, almost certainly I see blank stares. Here's the question: what will get me promoted? What will get me to the next stage in your career? Now, you might be like, hey, Shobit, I'm not really looking for a promotion right now. I just want to be a good PM and so on and so forth. But most of the times when PMs tell me that, when product managers tell me that, it's because they are trying to defend themselves. They don't want to put themselves on the line for a promotion. And so they're just saying, oh, I'm not really looking for a promotion. Now, even if you aren't looking for a promotion, the fact is, if you thought through this manner, you would do the things that are right for your career and for your company. So you've got to ask yourself this question, and not just that, you got to gain alignment and clarity with your stakeholders, your boss, your executive team on exactly what do they expect from you that will enable you to be promoted. And by the way, if you run into challenges like they can't tell you, come and talk to me. There's a lot of things that can be done. You might need some help in figuring out how do I present this question, present options the right way so that I can gain clarity on what will get me promoted. So that was question number one. Question number two. What long-term bet do I need to work on right now? This is a question of not getting stuck in the urgent things and leaving the important things not worked on. Anytime I've gotten promoted, I've gotten ahead, I've gotten that next position, it's because I took time to do that deep work that enabled me to work not just on making sure, for example, my product doesn't fail right now, releases go on time, but it was based on that awesome idea that I proposed. Or I don't even have to propose the idea. The initiative that I ran, the long-term vision that I set. That's ultimately what got me promoted whenever I got promoted. That's what gets my client promoted. All my clients, whenever they see a new position that they took, or just promotion to a different level, it's because they have like these 3 or 4 things that are long-term bets for the company that ultimately they led and they got associated with that. So if you're not thinking about the long-term bets, that's a problem. Question number 3, super important. Which advocates do I need to build a relationship with? Or who do you need to turn into advocates for you? Stakeholder management is one of those topics which a lot of PMs look at with a sense of dread. Where, oh, I'm going to go to the stakeholder and they're not going to like my roadmap and they're not going to like me and whatnot. It's time to let go of your insecurities and instead try to figure out, how do I make that stakeholder not just into a supporter, but an advocate for me, where they not only like my roadmap, they not only agree with it, but they are promoting me. They are talking about me. They're looking at new initiatives, new projects where I could contribute. They're really like invested in my own career. So that's what you need to look at. Which stakeholders could I turn into advocates? Super crucial, because if you're not doing that, again, you're not building those relationships, and without that, you don't have the support that you need to bring those people in. Number 4, what areas do I need to focus my learning or growth in? So learning and growth, right? Everybody says, yeah, like people love to listen to blog posts, read a book, but it seems to be a random walk down Google or Medium or YouTube or whatnot. It's not focused. It's not strategic. It's just, I found this useful, interesting book. Somebody mentioned, so I picked it up and I read it. And by the way, in my opinion, books never lead to transformation. For most people, books lead to inspiration, but you need some sort of training, curriculum, and support in order to have the transformation. But that aside, do you know exactly what are the top 3 skills you need to build to get to that next stage? Have you clarified that with your boss? Have you gotten feedback from others? That's a question that you need to ask yourself at least quarterly. At least quarterly, revisit what are the kinds of areas that you're focused on growth and learning in, so that you can get to that next stage in your career. And don't just leave it at that. Don't leave it broadly. So one of the things that I hear often from product managers, and hello from the cat, is that they need to get better in communication. Communication's key. But the problem is that they haven't yet dug into that next level on exactly where are they failing in communication. Are they screwing up the big presentations? Are they not speaking up at meetings? Are they just not listening the right way? Are they not running customer interviews the right way? There could be a bunch of different factors associated with that here. And so what I want to challenge you to do is to get specific. Don't leave it at that broad level that I will just, I will learn communication and things will be better. Because you're not going to have good goals with that broad learning curve. You got to narrow it down to something very specific. So for example, if you just said, I need to be more present in meetings, well, that's something we can do something about. I need to be able to get to that next level of insight with customer interviews. That's something you can do something about. But broadly, communication, that's just a topic that's going to stay there forever and you won't do anything about it. So get specific on which areas you need to grow in. And here, having a a mentor, a coach, a manager who supports you, is a peer group. All those things can be really, really crucial. Okay, number fifth out of six, which is, what do my customers need and what do they want? Two different questions, but you need to ask them regularly, especially if you're doing regular customer interviews, which I hope you are. If you step back and start asking yourself these questions, you'll start to see things that your customer expressed as their needs or as things that they really want, they'll find exciting. And then you'll start to really discover what is it that they truly need. And they're often very different things. I've heard several articles about people buy what they want, not what they need. But the job of the product is to deliver what they need, ultimately. So you got to figure out, how do you wrap what they need in this bow of what they want, in this wrapper of what they want. But if you're not revisiting that regularly, you're not going to be able to answer that question. So, and I'll give you an example. One of that is just with intentional product manager. Often what I talk about when I'm doing my own marketing is about what people want to achieve. The steps that they need to actually do to get there is something that gets delivered by the course. And so it's not my job in my marketing to say, hey, this is exactly what you need to do. It's about making sure I connect with what you want and gain enough confidence in people that I have the answers to help you get to where you want. You just got to do what I'm telling you to do. Right? That's basically what all my marketing is all about. And so as a product manager, I'm a product manager for Google. I'm a product manager for intentional product manager in some sense. And so as a product manager, as an entrepreneur, that's one of the things you need to always think about and differentiate. The last question. I wish I had asked this earlier on in my career, but only recently have I started to really focus in on that and promote it everywhere, write blog posts about it. It is, what would you do, or what would I do if I took 100% ownership of this? Victim mindset is common in product management. And by that, what I mean is, if you come to me and say, hey, Shobit, you don't understand. My company does not do product management well. There's just all this random stuff that's going on. We're not organized this way. We don't talk to customers. We don't do this. We don't do that. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you believe that you're the first person to have dealt with those challenges? If you think you are, you're mistaken. Constantly, the challenges I see that product managers face, they are similar. I've seen them. I've seen patterns of those. But what we all tend to believe, me included, is that my situation is completely unique. So anything that works for others is not going to work for me. The people who get past that are the people who believe that they need to solve this, no matter what the situation is, that they need to take full, extreme ownership. So, for example, if your company does not do product management well, that's your problem. Figure out how to make it happen. Figure out how to make step one happen. Figure out how do you move the needle from, let's say they are a 3 out of 10. What would it take for them to get from 3 out of 10 to 4 out of 10? Once you achieve that, what will it take for them to get from 4 out of 10 to 5 out of 10? Ownership and patience. Those are the attributes where, given the same conditions, given the same circumstances, one product manager, one entrepreneur can be 100 times further ahead than the other one because they believed and they took that full ownership. They took on that general management mindset. And then after that, they just kept going. They kept getting wins. They kept figuring out what is the next step here. One foot in front of another and just keep going. Don't stop. Never stop. Never give up. That's the kind of attitude that makes for completely kick-ass product managers. So those were the 6 questions. I'm going to repeat them again, so you see them. Write these down. Put it on your calendar to ask yourself these questions. They're so crucial that just by starting to do this, you'll start to see a difference. And then if you want to take things to the next level, what you should do is you should apply to work with me. I'll put a link down there below. But here's the question. Number 1, what will get me promoted? Clarify exactly what your company expects from you and what is it that you can do to get promoted. Second, what long-term bet do I need to work on right now? Not the short-term fires, but the long-term bet. Number 3, which advocates do I need to build, or who do I need to build relationships with so that they become an advocate for me? Number 4, which areas do I need to focus my learning or growth in right now? Number 5, what do my customers need and what do they want? I'm going to try to figure out what their aspirations are, figure out exactly what they need to get there, and then my marketing and my product will deliver on both. And last but not least, what would I do if I took 100% ownership of the situation? No giving up, no complaining, no thinking that I'm in a unique situation, because others have solved these problems and you can too. Believe in yourself. That's all I got today. I will post the links at the bottom for both the monthly program that I mentioned. I'm going to go live and do my first lesson later today, so really excited about that. And then how do you apply to work with me? That's the way you get to that final next stage. If you want massive impact, that's the way you do one-on-one with a coach and a mentor. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next Go Live. Happy Memorial Day to everyone, and I'll catch you all on the flippity flip.